Hi, I'm Chap Bettis, author of The Disciple Making Parent, and this is my audio blog, where I read some of my blog posts in audio format for your convenience. In today's episode, I'm going to be reading the blog post Thoughts on Choosing a College. I was recently asked about my thoughts on how Christians should choose a college by a father with 3 young teens. And I remember my nervous feeling as I approached that period in my parenting and discipleship of my children. I felt I had a pretty good strategy for the young years and the teen years, but when it came to further education, I didn't have much of a plan. Well, why is college a time of walking away? Well, Scripture tells us that we're rightly influenced by our parents, pastors, and friends. That's part of God's plan. And yet, quote, going away to college throws all 3 of those, parents, pastors, and friends, up in the air. Parents are often distant. Church commitment is questionable. And usually the young person is making completely new friends. If he or she does not have much discernment or is easily influenced, this is a recipe for disaster. In addition, college is also billed as a time to, quote, find yourself, to examine everything that you've been taught. And who is helping the young person do that? A wise person who has lived through the ups and downs of life? No, a professor who's lived in the pretend world of academia all of his life. He or she has earned a PhD, which amounts to learning a lot about one microspeck of knowledge. Too often we shower respect on those who may have large amounts of knowledge, but little of God's or life's wisdom. Well, let me balance this by recognizing and praising God for wise brothers and sisters who have persevered in gaining advanced education. And I'm thankful for those who faithfully minister in a college setting. I would have given anything as an undergraduate to know that there were Christian professors at my secular university. Nevertheless, the previous comment is aimed at the near universal priest-like status that our culture awards those with a PhD. Does everyone need a college education? In today's world, with most colleges increasingly hostile to the Christian worldview, this is a valid question. In addition, some are gifted with their hands and need technical training more than a general college education. However, as a dad, I felt that not having a college piece of paper would limit my children later in life. And so for our children, this seemed like the proper option. So what advice would I give to my younger self? What factors should I consider with so many options? Well, if I go back to my younger self during that tumultuous time, here's the advice I would give. 1, do not promise help with college. Legally and morally, I'm done at 18. Any continued financial support is a privilege and assumes that they continue their walk with the Lord and develop their marketable skills. My support can be pulled at any time, semester by semester, year by year. After 18, it's a year by year, and everyone knows this going into the process. This is said to them with a heart of affection and love that wants their best. It's not meant to be controlling, but it's merely meant to communicate that if they want to live a life apart from the Lord, they'll have to do it on their own dime. So I would suggest, number 1, don't promise help with college. Number 2, choose a college that has a strong on-campus fellowship and church. The best way to find help against the temptations of college life and the deceitful philosophies is to stay connected with other believers and other pastors and leaders. There are better answers to every argument they will hear, but those presenting those arguments will not show them the errors of their own thinking. If they're going to keep my financial support, they need to be actively committed to a strong fellowship and a church. Number 3, counterintuitively, you might choose a large school over a small school. Smaller schools tout the fact that their professors are able to interact more closely with their students. In this day and age, that's exactly what you don't want. In small colleges, the professors see their job as molding your child into their quote-unquote superior image. It seems that the anonymity of a larger school might be better. So number 3, counterintuitively, you might want to choose a large school over a small school. Number 4, choose a school that's close to home or a relative. This allows you to stay in contact and children to come home occasionally for weekends and small holidays. So number 4, choose a school that's close to home or a relative. Well, thus at this point in my life, I can see the advantages of a large state school with a strong fellowship or a small, strong Bible college. With only a few exceptions, I would not choose a Christian or non-Christian liberal arts. Institutions invariably drift away from Christianity, and there are some notable exceptions to this rule like Cedarville University and Grove City College, but they are just that, exceptions. In a church, non-biblical ideas lead to lack of attendance and the ultimate demise of the church. In a college, the ideas are more insidious, and the professors are more sheltered from the consequences of their ideas. I pray these thoughts are helpful, knowing that some people will have differing ideas. In addition, there are always unique circumstances that might change some of these principles. Nevertheless, this is the advice I would give to my younger self. Well, thank you for listening to the Disciple Making Parent audio blog. This ministry is equipping families to stand strong against the rising antagonism to the gospel. And for example, this blog post, an idea about choosing a college, is just one way we do this. After all, what is more important to us than the souls of our children or grandchildren? But we can only do this because of people like you who support the ministry through monthly or special gifts. If you've benefited from this ministry, would you prayerfully consider becoming a monthly or regular financial partner? Visit thedisciplemakingparent.com/give. Thanks for listening.